Chris DeSimone.
How you doing?
Oh my goodness. How we doing, man?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
Dude, I'm doing great. For the listeners on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Chris and I, childhood best friends, we were in the same Boy Scout troop together, got confused as brothers literally all the time growing up.
Yep.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about on the way over here was I was thinking about the goggle toss game we used to play at pool.
Oh man,
that
the
was
goggle game.
Dude,
yeah.
that was fun. Chris was always much better at baseball than me, and I remember we'll get into the goggle game in just a second, but I think you used to try and help me train for like baseball tryouts.
Yeah.
And it just never panned out, man.
Yeah. I do remember that. Wow, you're tapping into some memories
Dude,
I haven't
I
thought
know.
about in years. But yeah, I do remember that. And the goggle game, you just sparked a whole volcano of memories for me right now.
The goggle game was great because basically the premise of the game was that you and I would stand about 20 feet apart in the pool, and we would throw our goggles back and forth. And the goal of the game was to make the catch the goggles, not just catch them,
Right.
but to catch it in a spectacular sense.
Right. Odell Beckham style.
Exactly, Odell Beckham style. We would crash into people. We
Yep.
would like do whatever, even if it was like an easy catch. You would like try and like zhuzh it
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. Yeah. The cool thing about the goggles was it was just so non-aerodynamic.
Oh my god.
They would just like fly around in a crazy way, and the cool part about it too was like they had the rubber band, so you could do like a one-finger catch.
Yes, and I remember. And then if you did a one-finger catch, I remember you would like dive backward into the water.
Into the water, but
and
you
then
had to like almost like if you're like an outfielder, you're making a diving catch, you gotta show the ball. Like you would dive into the pool, and then you'd stick up the hand. And
Right.
The finger, like, oh, I still got it.
So it would only be
I
your
still
hand
got
sticking
it.
out of
Yeah,
the water and like waving
Maybe
around.
choking, on dirty pool water, but like the finger was up, so it was all good. Yeah.
And then it was great because the other person then had to run over in slow motion
Yes.
in like a celebration,
Yep.
like whatever, and then pick the other person up.
Lifeguards are probably thinking like, what the hell is wrong with these two kids?
Absolutely, especially since I've been a lifeguard post that. I would be
Yes.
like,
oh my
yeah,
god, I forgot you worked at the pool too.
dude,
yeah,
we worked there together.
I was a supervisor. You were a lifeguard. I
was
don't
a
know if I was a
lifeguard.
supervisor while you were a lifeguard.
I think because I worked staff pool. There was a big thing at the school. It was
Staff
pool.
as well.
yeah, it was
yes.
staff and lifeguards. There was a rivalry,
Huge feud.
between them. I started in staff,
Yes.
then became a
The
lifeguard.
transition.
And then it was good because then I kind of got like, the people
I
in staff.
totally forgot
I
you
know,
worked at
dude.
the pool.
I know.
Oh my god.
Dude, that was such a great job. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite. Like,
The pool was not a real place.
no, it was not. Dude.
It was. There's a movie I think it's called like Adventureland or something.
Okay.
With, Jesse Eisenberg maybe.
Yeah, is that like the post-apocalyptic like amusement park zombie
Oh,
thing?
maybe I'm thinking that. That's a different movie. Yeah, there's a different movie. I don't know. There's a movie called Adventureland or something where
Yeah.
it's just the pool. Like it's just it's literally just the pool. There's actually someone at the pool. I forgot her name, but she was there for a long time. I think she like tried keeping a memoir of all the different events and day to day, and I think she was going to write a book about the pool.
Dude, that is a great idea. I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's hard because I want to like I don't want to like talk about names. So I'm trying to be like
We
very
could talk
vague.
about, we could go hours on this pod about the pool.
There's
The
actually
stories there were not real, and the people were not real.
I know, dude. And you know what's
The
great?
big boss man, I'm not going to mention his name.
No, but
He was not real.
By the way, when he says big boss man, he's exactly what you're
Yeah,
envisioning.
yeah.
Like
Big boss man was big and
sweaty
he was
and-
not
ugh.
a real human being. He
no,
just
it
really
was
wasn't.
very the teeth, man. That was,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
another. But dude, that was such a great place. It was my first job too. That was
Yeah, it was my first job. Not my first job. It was one of my first jobs, and it should have ended a lot sooner than it did. But it was just, I felt like I was like a 7th year senior there at the point when I left.
Dude, I remember I heard the story that there was a pool inspection one day, and the guy that worked the pool house like overslept or something, and there wasn't enough chlorine to pass the inspection in the pool.
Oh, yeah. That
So
was
then
my
they just dumped so much chlorine to like
Yep, that was my
toxic
friend.
levels.
Yep, that is accurate. They just dumped in pure, unfiltered, unadulterated chlorine to like the corner of the pool,
Oh
which
my
is like
god, yeah.
it's acidic.
Yeah, it's like
bad,
real
like-
bad. And then but the inspectors came by, they were like, "All right, this is
Yeah,
good."
there was such
Yeah, it was-
BS. He was just like he stuck his finger in there and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're good." Yeah. The pump house had a couch. It had a
Yeah.
PS2.
Oh my god.
It had a mini fridge.
Yeah.
You could have a 6-pack in there.
I remember if you were a lifeguard, you wanted day shift, and if you were staff, you wanted pool house.
Right.
Those were like the coveted positions.
Yeah.
The pool house, I never went inside.
You never got inside
No,
Pump
but I
House?
know people would like
Oh,
sit
Pump
back there and
House
like
was-
smoke weed and like
It was basically a frat house back there. Like People were hooking up with employees back there. People were smoking weed back there. There was the pool. It was the pool. It was the park behind the pool, and then next to the park and the pool was like the town dump. The dump was there.
Yes.
So whenever we'd have to like drop off the loads of garbage with the little mini golf cart thing, which is also another adventure, but it was called the Taurus. We would drop it off at the dump, and the dump was a magical place of endless treasures and things that were 85% working, and like old electronics and scary like toys and dolls. So we'd find crazy stuff at the pump house, at the dump. So like we found a working barbecue one year. So we just would
like
have
a George Foreman grill, or
like you know, something a little more than that. Like not something you put on a table, like an actual stand up
get out
grill. We'd have barbecues back there.
That's
Someone during their break would go. You had 20 minutes sometimes. If lucky, you had 40 minutes if you were a lifeguard on break, a double.
Yes, if you were
right?
working a double, you had 40
so
minutes
you'd
off.
go to the grocery store. Someone would be like, all right, everyone throw me $6 each. Go to the grocery store, get dogs, burgers, you know, buns, ketchup if you were lucky, and then like some cheese, maybe a 6-pack. They come back. The next person would, you know, tag in, start grilling, and then the next person, I'll save you one when you come off of spray and play, and you go and have a burger.
Oh my God.
So we found a barbecue. We found one time a huge like carnival style Elsa doll, and one of the employees, you're not dropping names, but one of the employees tied the Elsa doll with a noose style knot and chucked it off the slide, and like Elsa was just committing suicide off of the slide as kids were like, ah, like screaming as they're like, oh my God. We found that. We would find huge.
This is like a children's pool.
It is. It's a family event.
Yeah, it's like not. Yeah.
We would find huge potted plants that would get thrown around. We found like, you know, old watermelons that would get thrown around. We would find things just strictly drop off of the slide, like old electronic. It was not a real place. If they made the pool into a show, it would do
Dude, that's like, and you know what's great is like that's not even like half the shit I'm thinking of. There were lifeguards. I remember
endless.
I would walk around. I would like peek in at lifeguards. They would like be asleep, like on the stand.
I have friends that were lifeguards. I know for a fact they would bring the darkest of dark sunglasses, go on the stand and just like cave out for 20 minutes, and someone would come up to them and be like, hey, it's my turn. And they'd be like, oh yeah, okay, come on down.
You're right. It would be
people were, you know, smoking weed. There would be times where we'd have staff parties after.
Oh my God.
And it would be like staff parties at, you know, 9 o'clock, with the people who leave at like 8:15.
Oh my God.
Not a lot of time. So you gotta, you know, fill up the water bottle with whatever you got type thing while you're working.
Dude,
it was not a real place.
Do you remember too? They used to do it because like it was all college kids that were like just like crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
They used to make a deal with the staff and the lifeguards that at the last day the pool closed, they would like, everybody's home, everybody goes, and they go, all right, you get 15 minutes to just go ape shit on the slide.
Yep.
People were climbing up it while people were trying to go down.
Just
like, oh my God. Like people, you would get physically hurt. Like you would leave that sore.
There was
people just going ape shit on that
bananas.
slide.
There was a year I left the pool because I got a big boy job, and then I didn't have a big boy job, so I went back to the pool because gotta go back to the teat. You know what I mean?
Was that tough going back?
Yeah, it definitely was, because I was like a supervisor, which is like it was a important position there. Like you were in charge.
Yeah,
of like
you
a
were.
staff.
Yeah, that was like the
But
real job there.
Yeah, but I was like young 20s. I'm talking like 2021.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I got the job. There were way more qualified people.
Sure.
There were way older people, way longer tenured people, but they just gave me the job for some reason. So like midway through the summer, I was a slowly staff member. My supervisor left. I have the job all of a sudden, and I'm now in charge of all of my friends.
That's
it was
crazy.
just a madhouse, and some of them are older than me, and then I'm like,
yeah.
hey, go get that garbage, and they're like, yeah, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, that's fair. Okay,
I will get the garbage.
I'm gonna get the garbage. I have no respect or power. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it was just BS. So yeah, when I left that, I came back, but I was for that one summer I came back, they filled obviously the supervisor role, so I couldn't go back to my old, job. So I was the night watch guy, which was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You thought the pool had no rules during the day.
Holy crap.
Wait till no one's there.
I think I stayed with you guys once for night watch.
Oh, it was the best. Night watch would basically be frat parties.
That was crazy.
So you'd bring, friends, you'd bring cornhole, you'd go in the pool, you'd
Right.
have water polo,
Yeah.
you go up, sneak a little, dibs or chocolate eclair from the ice cream place.
That was, what's funny is like I remember now they had, because it was the pool on the low end of
Yep.
like and then on the
Mhm.
hill they had like the snack bar area where people would hang out and like
Yep.
eat and stuff. And I remember like the ice cream bar, another coveted position.
ice cream
Fun
bar,
fact:
yes.
Chris Barnes, who's another comedian right now, he's very very funny.
Yes, he also started at
He
at the
also
pool.
started at the pool, and he
Big
was in
break.
charge of the ice cream. Yes. Well, it's funny too
Well, he
because
was
like,
also a staff member.
Yes.
And everyone transitions fluidly to all parts of the pool. If you worked at the pool, most likely you had 2.5 jobs
right.
there. But yeah, he was a ice cream guy for a year or two. Yeah.
And it's so funny because that ice cream was like, that was the one thing they cared about. It was like, don't touch the ice cream.
Yeah. Well,
And
the
it was
big
like-
boss man loved his ice cream.
Well, that's
so-
also true. Yeah. It was funny too because I remember I came in the transition period where like the boss man that we're thinking of took over for boss lady, who again we're
Yes.
not naming,
Yes.
and she ran a fucking tight ship,
She
man.
ran the tightest of
Yeah,
ships,
and
and then
then-
Big Boss Man thought it wasn't even a ship; it was a train, and he was the opposite. He would scratch his head and be like, "So what are we doing today?" We're like, "I don't know. We're looking at you. You're
Yeah.
the boss." Oh, I have so many good boss stories.
Always had
Oh,
Burger
man.
King in his office.
Okay, you brought up the Burger King. There was
Yeah.
one time, dude. One time it was pouring rain, and when it pours and thunders, the pool's basically closed. But we just wait for it to not thunder.
Right. Yeah.
To squeeze in like an extra 20 minutes for the 2 idiots who are coming to do laps at 7:40 when we close at 8. So, one time Big Boss Man asked, there's 3 different stories. I could just tell them all, but I'll tell one. So one time someone was coming in for their shift on a lifeguard side, and they were like, "Man, I was trying to park and I was just honking the horn. This car was in the middle of the parking lot outside the front of it, and I couldn't get past. He was just like in the middle of the parking lot. It was pouring rain. I honked for like 3 minutes. He didn't hear me, and then I drove to the side and I look in. And this Big Boss Man, mid burger bite, like this. It was just like,
Oh
he was eating in
God.
front of the pool with like in his car, like just go in your office or something.
Yeah, like not even in a spot, like just
No.
like in blocking the entrance. for
And there was a
people.
pretty sweet snack bar there too. That was another
Yeah.
subsector of jobs.
Yes,
you had
snack bar.
You had staff, you had lifeguard, you had office, who were always girls.
Yes,
there was
office was always girls,
office
but,
girls.
but pool house was always men.
Pool house
That
was
was
always
the
men.
yeah.
Office was always girls.
Office was great because you were in the AC
Pump
all
house
day.
had like maybe 3-4 people. Office had like 4 or 5 people. Staff
Right.
was a ton of people. Lifeguard, ton of people. Specific ice cream, like maybe 2 people. And then the snack bar was D&J, and that was a total separate.
That was a different company,
separate
yeah. But that
company,
was
separate
yeah.
entity. Then there was also maintenance, which had a couple of people. in there
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Um,
But wasn't maintenance through the rec department?
that was the rec
That was
department,
okay because
yes,
the pool was
yes,
also
yes.
under the rec department, but it was a different subsection under
Yes.
the rec department.
One time, Big Boss Man went up there, and it took him a while to get up there. And he's like, I'm gonna go make myself a burger. So he made himself a burger, and he comes back down. And I'm in the office because I'm a supervisor at this point. I'm asking for something, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He talked like that. And he took a bite into his burger, and he bit it, and he's eating, he's chewing. I'm talking to him like, "Hey, where should I put this person, or where should I do with this thing?" And he's chewing his burger in front of me. He's like, "Something's wrong." I'm like, "You all right?" Well, there it
Well,
is. Okay,
we'll
yeah.
cut it out.
I'm like, "You all right, Big Boss Man?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he opened his his burger, and he forgot the patty on the grill. So he made his burger minus the burger. I was like, "Big Boss Man, did you forget the patty up there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going up though. I'm just gonna eat it." I'm
Oh
like, Jesus
God!
dude.
Oh,
Oh.
he just ate the rest.
Just ate the whole
Yeah, it's
sandwich,
just like bread
the
and
whole burger minus
ketchup
the
and
burger.
ugh.
Condiments and cheese and whatnot. But yeah, that guy's a character.
Were you around when they started letting alcohol in there?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
big. That was fun.
my
But only
God.
on the upper deck.
Oh, it wasn't in the
As
pool.
soon as,
or-
oh, no.
Yeah,
As soon as you took 3 steps down to the lower deck,
right,
game over. Because then
Wow.
it was close to the water and then a hazard and all that.
right, exactly. Was it
Yeah.
wild when people started drinking up there?
You could bring your own drinks too. It's BYOB.
Wow! Oh
I
my God!
think. Yeah, I think you could.
I remember because it was like a membership problem. Like they were trying to get more like. I
So
think
the pool, I think, is still running, and I think it's been in the red since I've been born. I don't know how it's still running. I don't know how. The financial decisions and the decision making, horrible. Being there, like behind the scenes and seeing the stuff.
yeah.
Oh my God, the decision making is horrible.
Yeah.
And then they would make some of the worst financial like we had like on Tuesday nights like a movie night on the
Yes,
lawn, which was
yeah.
a ton of fun. Really cool for all the kids. It's $2. $2 a kid. Like you could charge like $5, $10, $15.
Sure, sure.
That's a whole cool experience. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then like memberships were like $500. Like,
The memberships were crazy, and they made like no sense. It was
Yeah.
like, and like I get they wanted you to sign up for like the longer thing for,
yeah.
but it was like $750 a person for the summer.
Yeah.
It was like something crazy
Mhm.
like that.
But seeing the money that was wasted there, man, like it was
Dude.
rough.
I remember they built because I think this was while we were both there. They used to have just a very shallow kiddie pool.
And it was in the shape of a mushroom.
Yes, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And like it was like whatever, it was cute, fun. Then they put in like this monstrosity of
Yes,
like
that's
a
a good way to
kid
call it.
water playground,
Yep.
and
Spray
it was
play, it was
the
called.
spray and play.
Spray and play.
Oh my
Basically,
god!
a huge jungle gym, like something you see at like a legit water park, like
Right,
like a
right.
splish splash.
Yeah,
Like a huge aquatic jungle gym with water flying everywhere. It was freaking awesome. It was really cool. If I was like 7,
yeah, you would love it if the kids really did love
I'm
it.
not getting off that thing.
Right, it was
Yeah.
But I remember it was such a big thing between staff and lifeguards about who had to stand up in like the water and get wet and
standing
everything.
up there where you were in the shit.
Yeah, you were
Kids
really.
screaming.
Oh,
running,
staff went up there with like ponchos and stuff like
spraying you
that. Yeah.
nonstop.
In the summer, it was really nice. It was really hot.
It was
like,
a hot day.
you
it
didn't
was
mind,
nice.
yeah.
And then some people like to get their laps in and just walk around the pool.
Yeah,
That was a big thing. Getting your
exactly.
Laps in, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But spray and play was awesome.
Dude,
Yeah, it was really cool.
spray and play was fun, and this is like such a random fact,
Mhm.
but I learned Robin Williams died at the pool. You told me
Did I?
while I was on shift. I
Oh,
remember because we had
wow.
to stand in between like the two big slides that they had in the main pool,
Yeah.
and then you, because we both love comedy growing up, and we'll get into it in like just a sec, but you screamed from across the way. You go, Penna! And I go, yeah, and you were like, Robin Williams died,
Oh,
and I go,
man.
no, and I like dropped to my knees.
Yeah, because he wasn't like sick or anything. He just
No, we did.
committed-
I mean, we had no idea. Yeah, I
he
mean,
just committed
obviously.
suicide.
Yeah, I remember like
I
we were
think-
heartbroken.
Yeah, I don't remember.
was-
Wow, you remember?
You don't
that.
remember that, dude? That's
No.
how I found out.
It
yeah.
was in August, right? Yeah, so I think that makes
I
sense.
think so.
remember
Yeah, it was like over the
timing of
summer.
it. I think Robin Williams dying was the most impacted I've ever felt from a celebrity dying.
I think so too. And it's
I
just like what he
loved
meant to
him.
everyone. Yeah.
I really loved him. He was
Yeah.
awesome. Him and Jerry Stiller. When Jerry Stiller died,
That's
I
yeah.
got really. I'm actually getting upset now, but like I love those. I love Jerry Stiller from The King of Queens. It's my favorite show.
That show.
Arthur Spooner is the best character ever.
The thing about King of Queens that I love and still persists, I think, is that scene where he's looking for the scissors and his wife just like goes off on him. And he's like,
Exactly.
where
what
do
I'm
you
talking
think it
about.
is, Doug? And he's
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
"Here."
Yeah, it's the scissors drawer maybe or the junk drawer, and he takes the scissors. And I remember it's like this was like the little pre-clip before they do the intro,
yeah.
and he's got the scissors, and then he looks at Carrie. He's like, "Where's the pen?" And she's like, "Oh, you get it, yeah." King of Queens is classic. Yeah,
That
so when-
one's great too. Were you big? Were you King of Queens over Seinfeld?
I wasn't the hugest Seinfeld guy. I
That's
was
crazy.
The big two at the time were King of Queens for me. King of Queens and Everybody Loves Raymond.
I mean, everybody loves
Everybody-
Raymond is just like
It's iconic.
Oh.
Yeah, called Robert. Robert is one of my favorite characters.
it's crazy how he would just like walk onto a scene and the audience would just erupt.
Yeah, because he was such a towering figure. He's like
Yeah.
6'8", and he won like so many Emmys for that show. He was
It's
great.
crazy.
He was hysterical. And Frank Barone, the dad.
yeah,
was
Frank
great.
Barone. Yeah, Boyle, I think was last
Peter
name.
Boyle.
Peter Boyle. Thank
Yeah,
you,
The original like Young Frankenstein.
dude. So and this actually gets into like one of the things I wanted to compliment you on when we started out. So you and I grew up together. We were 2 blocks away growing up, I think. Like
2 blocks. I was
Frit-
Wellington. You
yeah.
were Roxbury.
Can you go a little
You'd go-
closer to the mic, my guy?
Sure,
That's
sure. Yeah, sorry.
much better. No, you're good.
I was Wellington. You were Roxbury. I'd go up 1 block, go down a short block, and
Yes.
make a left, and you were right.
And it was cool because we were the kind of friends like you would just like during the summer. I remember we had off. I remember one day after summer, I think I went over to your house and we were playing like street hockey.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. We were doing. That's okay. It just means a lot to me. It means nothing to you. That's fine.
All right. Cool.
No, but it was very, dude. When a lot of comedians will say that like they think about people in their lives that really they think are way funnier than them and like who inspired them, dude, you are one of those friends for me.
Really?
Chris, you made me laugh.
Really?
So fucking. I'm surprised you're surprised at this.
Well, I mean,
you made me laugh so much
Really?
growing up.
That's
and
a big compliment. Damn.
when we would watch Family Guy together.
Oh, you
Like,
and your brothers were the big.
Oh,
You
my
guys turned me
God.
on to Family. You and my cousin, but you guys were like the bit. Like we used to watch like just like montages and clips.
Oh my God!
Family Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was like
the-
original Family Guy,
like
which
OG
was very,
good stuff.
Yeah,
like, you
like-
know,
like Ding Fries are done.
I was just about to say, Ding Fries are done. Oh my God! Like montage of the first Peter versus the chicken fight.
Yeah, like oh
things
my-
like that. Yeah, that
dude.
was big.
But
Damn,
we-
I didn't know that.
Dude,
Thanks, I
oh my
appreciate
God!
that.
I'm shocked you didn't know that.
Well, I
'Cause
was- why would I think that with someone else? Like,
what did people? I mean, like, because you're very funny. Do people not
Thank
like?
you.
Are you not perceived as a funny guy?
No, I am, but
Yeah.
to be called like one of the, I forgot what you even just said because I was really blacking out here, but
Yeah.
one of like the inspirations. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really, that,
No,
you know.
dude. I mean,
I mean,
oh my
I know
God.
people have told me I'm funny, you know, whether it's my mannerisms or my reactions to things, but to be like yeah, like I looked up to you, kind of. That's
Oh,
really,
dude, of
that's a
course. I'm
lot.
sorry
Jeez,
if that
thank
wasn't
you.
more apparent. Like,
No, I mean,
dude.
we're very tight and we got a good friendship. I didn't know, you know, you thought
well, we
that.
also
That's
too,
really
like when I was like starting out, we went to our first open mic together.
nice. Mhm,
Not
mhm.
my very first. I think I had done it. I had done it already at this point. But we went to the Creek in the Cave before it closed.
It closed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. It's been closed for a while. Like I remember that used to be a spot
go.
for a lot of comedians prior to like my generation.
Mhm.
But like we went like right before it really shut down.
This is right before COVID too, so maybe
Oh,
COVID
yeah.
knocked it out.
I think it was. I don't know if it was even right before COVID. I think it was like 2 years before.
Oh,
Were we in
really?
I think it was in college, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. But
yeah.
we went. It was funny because like I didn't understand how stand up worked, and we went
Mhm.
to a heckle mic, and like
Yeah.
it was very.
Yep.
There were like these two women like by the bar like
Yep.
heckling us like
You
during the
act
set.
like I was some experienced guy. This is probably like the freaking 5th time I've done it at that point.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you like did you continue to do it after that?
So yeah, no, I mean I would love to and I'd want to, but no, I sadly I really only a few times. I haven't really.
Have you thought about getting back into it?
Yeah, I really have.
Oh,
Like, so
dude, is this the birth of it? Are we
It
gonna?
could
Oh,
be.
dude,
I
hell
mean,
yeah.
The sad part. So right before COVID happened, what I guess was March 2020. I actually saw you. I saw you.
Yes. Oh,
perform
now I remember.
Right
now. It's
before
coming back.
2020. What was that place?
Was it?
was in New
West
York
Si-
City.
It was it West Side Comedy Club?
Maybe
I think it might have
was
been.
like a
yeah.
big spot. Like
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was-
Oh, maybe it was the basement of like a Mexican restaurant.
Yep, that's West Side.
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
that is? Okay.
Playa Betty's. It's underneath. Yeah.
One of your jokes. I don't know if you remember this. I remember one of your jokes.
Oh, which one? Oh, tell me which one.
It's very relevant. You walked on. You were like, "Hi, I'm Matt. I have resting. Invite me to your podcast." Face.
Oh yes, yeah.
Here we
That used
are.
to be my opener. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
There you go.
That's good, dude. That used to.
Um,
Someone said that at a mic once when they
Oh,
brought
you
me
pulled a
up.
Gilbert Gottfried and stole his joke.
No. Well,
Oh,
here's the
okay.
thing. The host, who I was co-hosting, so I was doing the second half. He was doing the other half.
Mhm.
And he goes, "This next guy has resting. Please listen to my podcast face, Matt Penna."
Nice.
Huge laugh. And I go after him. I was like, "Can I have that?" He goes, "When am I ever gonna use that?" so it's like, I was like, "Okay, fair enough." Dude, that
When
was,
am I ever?
he was like,
Imagine he
"What?"
opens up for another mic show
yeah,
and he's like,
dude.
"My friend Matt Penna had resting
Yeah.
invite me to his podcast face, and now here's George." Yeah, yeah, like when else am I ever gonna introduce you?
Yeah, he's like, "Sure, like
Yeah.
whatever." Now I open with Eagle Scout, believe it or not. So
Really?
now I do, and that does pretty well because like.
What's the line?
So I do. I'm very careful about it because I go upstage and it's like because I've been trying to do more about like I know how I come across type of thing. Like
Mhm.
I'm
How
trying
do
to
you
do
come across?
what
How do you come across?
I come across like very like energetic, happy energy on stage. So like I'll come on.
You come across as tranquil, energetic. Like
That's
you're,
interesting.
like-
Right now for sure because it's 8 p.m. on like a Tuesday.
Yeah,
so it's
right,
like
true.
yeah.
But like no, you're definitely bubbly and energetic. But it's a
Yes, yeah.
very like inviting energetic.
Right.
It's
and
not
I
like a,
appreciate
hey,
that.
how you doing?
No,
Like, it's
exactly.
like a,
Yes. And
hey,
I've
what's up? I'm pretty excited. To do
I've
this.
gotten
Like,
that before,
yeah.
and that's like my favorite thing because it's nice that I get to kind of take the audience where I want to take them.
Mhm.
So I go up and I'll do like a hey, how is everybody doing? Like to like really kind of invite them in, and then I'll be like, my name's Matt Penna, I'm an Eagle Scout, and just once when I say that, I'd love it if someone was surprised, which usually gets like a laugh. And then I have some other jokes too
Nice.
that I won't get into, but just like to get
Yes,
that
I
first
could-
kind of punch.
I could guess where you're gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. So we were actually in the same Boy Scout troop together as
Yeah,
well.
we were there
both,
too. Yeah,
both
that,
Eagle,
I remember that
both
as well.
Eagle Scout. I went
Both
like this
Eagles.
for Eagle Scout. I went.
Yeah,
hell
that's
yeah,
as cool
baby.
as it gets, huh?
We had we had some.
I'm an eagle. Yeah.
we
yeah,
had
we
s-
were
we had
we went through it together. And it was fun. It was sad that being a Boy Scout. I remember when I was gonna be a Boy Scout, like I mean, you could be an Eagle Scout, make Eagle rank. I remember like my mom and the other like scout leaders and everyone. They were like, "This is gonna mean so much when you're getting a job. They're gonna care about it on your school application.
That is
you're
what
gonna
every
be a model citizen."
every mother.
And now I don't even think people even know what an eagle is, like
Dude.
the bird, let alone Eagle Scout. You know what I mean? They're
No,
like,
and that's
what?
it.
What were you? Oh, did you get touched? All right, cool. All right,
No,
moving on.
exactly.
That's
yeah.
pretty much what Eagle Scout is now.
And for our purposes, we came close. We came close.
Yeah, my babysitter got convicted for sure.
He was your babysitter?
Yeah,
No.
he was. I'm not even that's a name I'm not saying, but this dude was my babysitter.
Oh
yeah.
my God! Well,
and also your local librarian at the time.
so for people that don't know, there was a
Uh,
pedophile in our troop
Okay,
that no
yeah.
one was aware of.
yeah, pretty much.
I didn't know he was your babysitter.
Yeah, a couple times my mom made a real good parenting call and was like, "I'm gonna call, this kid I like, and he's gonna come on down and he's to babysit you." I was like, "Okay,
Who can I think of to watch my kids?
yeah, this guy likes kids. Let me invite him on over."
Dude,
Like,
you
yeah,
know,
mom, thanks.
you know what I remember is I'm trying to work on a bit about this. He was just so
a bit about him.
yeah.
Oh,
but,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so nice. Like,
He was nice, but he was like peculiar.
Yes.
Like, he was odd.
And
You could tell he did things his own way. You
Right.
could tell
And
something
someone-
he was a little bit of a reserved guy.
yes,
you know.
yeah. And it was weird that because he made Eagle and then stuck around, which
Yeah.
was the
That's the part where
might
like,
have in hindsight a lot of people might have
yeah, making Eagles normally like
you're in and
graduate
you're out.
and
yeah.
I'm out. You know,
Exactly.
It's not
And
like
then you
make
never
an
really get
eagle
promoted.
and I'm gonna watch you do it.
Yeah.
Now. It's like no, you're gonna go on out of here.
You're
now.
gonna come on
Yeah,
now.
you hit the rail, hit the trails.
I know I'm gonna watch you do it.
And I'm gonna like it.
And I'm-
Oh man, I'm
We-
gonna like it a lot.
I just I remember too, because I was like, he's so nice, and someone said I sent it to someone. They go, yeah, what? He's a pedophile. You think he's gonna be mean to kids?
Yeah, you gotta get him to like you.
He's like,
somewhere, I
yeah.
guess.
That was crazy. I remember that news came out. I think you told me about that. I think you broke the news to me.
Was that right after Robin Williams?
I'm getting.
Hey, Matt! Robin Williams died. No way.
I'm getting.
Also, our scout leader touched me. What? Never mind. Go down the slide.
Go down the slide.
Yeah,
Go.
You're good.
I get all my news exclusively from 20 yards away across
From
the pool.
That's how people actually got it back in the day. Like colonial America, it'd be like some dude screaming from a tower, like, Rob Williams died. You'd be like, no way.
The town crier.
Yeah, the
just,
town crier. Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Local pedophiles announced. Yeah,
But all in all, we had some good times with Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts was fun.
definitely. Yeah.
I remember one kid, though. This is the classic story I always go to when people ask, like, what was Boy Scouts like? I remember we were, like, 4 days into camp at summer camp, and it's, like, a 7-day trip. So, like, it's really, you're in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember our scoutmaster was so exhausted, tired, and sweaty specifically, because it was, like, hot, middle of July. And then I think we showered all collectively once a week. I think maybe once
did?
that week. I think so.
Oh,
I just
don't
remember
know.
a hose.
Maybe that might have been a you thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I showered
Wow.
anybody.
Wait, did you shower at all or no?
I mean, I showered. I don't know if I was like, "Hey guys, I'm 6 o'clock. Let's all go down and shower together." No, I don't think I showered everybody.
I
but
just remember getting like hosed down, and that was
there were
they
definitely some
yeah,
hosings.
they were like, "That's your bath," and I was like, oh, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
And
I don't
then
know if I showered everybody. Jeez, you might have had a different experience than me.
I remember
There was one year I remember
yeah.
summer camp. It was like it was a hot week that week.
Yeah.
And I remember we drove you that week, me and my dad. I
uh
don't know if you remember this. And we like barely ate that week. Like the mess hall food was extra messy
Yeah.
and extra not food. It was rough. Like the bug juice was gross.
It was
and we
just
were
fruit
so
punch, right?
hungry.
Yeah.
It was like blue fruit punch. Pretty
Ugh.
much. We were so hungry on the way
Yeah.
home. We stopped in the Bronx. Do you remember this? We stopped home
Think
at the Bronx.
so.
We went to my dad's favorite pizza place. This place, Louie and Ernie's. It's a spot in the Bronx.
feel
It's
like
like
it-
the
yeah.
basement, pretty much, of like this grandma's house.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and I remember we ordered a pie, and the pies were they were like big, good size, like in between a personal and a normal pie, and they were really thin. And me, you, and my dad, we like housed it in like 10 minutes. Do you remember this?
I feel like I do.
Okay.
I feel like it's
We
coming
housed
back.
it in like 10 minutes, then we ordered another pie. And then the guy was like, all right, yeah. And we ordered like fucking 6 pies at that point.
I mean,
and we were still hungry because they were like paper thin slices.
Yeah.
And by the 6th pie, the guy was like, are you eating the pizza? Like, what are you doing with it? And they're like, you don't understand. We just came from summer camp. Like, we're starving. We hadn't eaten for all week.
He's like, oh, you got touched?
Yeah. It's like, oh, were you with that guy? You got touched?
I heard the town crier. He was telling
I
everyone
heard,
he was a pedophile.
Dude,
that was great. You know what I remember about your dad once is he took me to the bathroom. I forget we were at some sort of event or something. No, that sounded.
oh my
so
God, I was
bad.
about to.
Wait, no, it's not that kind of story.
Holy shit! I was about to be like, him too? Like, oh God, no.
No, it's not that kind. Oh my God, what a crazy way for me to bring
start.
that up.
Yeah, I loved your dad. One time he took me to the bathroom.
Oh my God, he taught me what it's like to be a man.
Yeah. Oh man. Holy crap.
Oh my God. No, it's not like that at all.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Every viewer thinks my dad touched me and you, or just you.
No, I remember it because we went to no, it's not, and it's gonna sound like that even more now.
Oh, good.
'Cause we
I'm ready.
went to he took me. I was like 10. Jesus.
No, I promise it gets better. I was 10. How's your dad doing? I haven't seen him in 15 years. I remember that one time he took me to the bathroom. I was 10 years old. Jesus. I'm literally crying.
And we went to the urinal.
Is that being serious right now?
Oh my God. And he sorry. And like, you know, I'm like shy. I'm
Please continue. Oh, Jesus.
No.
I'm struggling to
Oh.
breathe. Is there water with this podcast?
No, it's like, oh, no, we used to do that, and then I kept forgetting, so we stopped.
Oh, my God.
I used to text before, and I used to tell guests, like, hey, let's have a drink on me. And then I remembered I don't make any money doing this. So.
Oh, my God. Okay, please keep
Okay,
going.
so we're at, he takes me to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 10.
Yep.
And so we're at the urinal. And, like, there's no dividers in the urinal, and I'm 10 years old. I'm very shy. He's checking off all the elements of a story.
Okay, keep going.
And then he told me to turn around and bend over. No.
Oh, God.
No. He goes, I remember I was peeing and I was like, I was trying to hide it because, like, you know, I was very shy peeing. And he goes, don't stand so close to the urinal. Like, you know, like, because you try to, like, you know what I mean? I was getting, like, pee on me. That's how close I was.
This is like a life memory?
Every time I go to the urinal, I think about it. Isn't that weird?
Think about my dad. Now it's twisted around. You think about my dad
No,
every time you go to the urinal?
Well, I think about not standing so close.
It took him to tell you that? You'd think, let me take a step back. My freaking dad.
Because I was like shy. I was like, he goes, just take a step back. It's okay. I was like, oh God.
Oh, I thought this had such a better ending.
Oh no, it's yeah. So now I think about your dad every time I pee publicly.
And he thinks about you. Wow. All right, cool.
Oh my God. You know what was big too for us growing up? Didn't we play a lot of Monopoly?
Yeah, we did. We love Monopoly.
Monopoly was great. Scrabble, you guys loved.
Oh, Scrabble.
I remember.
Full circle, going back to the pool. Me and my mom used to like bring Scrabble and we'd play. We'd see you guys all the time.
Yeah.
You and your family, and we used to get some intense Scrabble
Those
games.
Scrabble
Me,
games,
you, your brother Robbie, and my
Yep.
mom were just like whizzes at
Yes.
Scrabble. I'm still very good at Scrabble. I love Scrabble.
Are you good at Scrabble? My fiance is terrible.
Really?
She's so bad.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually a manager of a board game cafe too.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the cafe?
Cafe. I'm gonna shout it out. It's in Huntington, Long Island.
Okay.
It's on Main Street. It's called the Main Street Board Game Cafe.
Hell
We've
yeah.
been open for coming up on our 5th year anniversary. 2019 May, so this would be 6 years, I think, actually.
Hell yeah.
I'm the manager there. I've been there since 6 months after they opened. And it's great. And I love all different types of board games. It's awesome. It's a cool spot.
What kind of board games do they have there? They have like Monopoly, Scrabble,
Everything you can think of. everything except like a little more PG-13 adult games. So we don't have like Cards Against Humanity because there's kids.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
could
Yeah,
look,
but what a game!
Oh, great
let
time.
me tell you.
So yeah, we don't have that, but we have literally any other game you can think of.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Remember that?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering.
Do you have
Remember
it?
that?
Dude.
I am still. You don't know, I guess. I'm still a huge Magic the Gathering player.
So that was all we did on our Boy Scout trips.
Huge.
That
Yep.
was people ask like,
That's-
what was it like being a Boy Scout? I'm like, learn how to play Magic the Gathering.
More
that's
cool
it.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
the coolest stuff.
We're really
there is.
selling it here
Yep,
today.
Yep.
Do you remember the fingerprinting merit badge? Do you remember we did a day workshop to get that merit badge?
I remember we did the art merit badge in like 3
Yes.
hours.
Yeah, the art was there.
The music one, like we learned how to play like the freaking flute for like a day.
Yeah, they would have the thing is they would have these because to make Eagle Scout you have like required number of merit badges.
Yeah,
you can
there's-
get like elective ones and they have required ones.
Yes.
So we would do these elective ones and you would get them done in like a day. Whereas like typically it would take a few weeks to get like a merit badge.
Some of them took a long time. Some of them are
Some
like
of them didn't. Remember the budget you had to make for personal management? I remember that was like the
Yes.
Everest of required merit badges.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was definitely a tough one. There were a few that were required that were like, oh, I gotta do that. It's like a scholarship merit badge.
Scholarship, but I remember scholarship
was
was okay.
elective.
Yeah, that was an elective. That one was
elective one.
okay. Couldn't even tell you. I remember specifically because you would have to do interviews to like move up the ranks. So I had a first class interview. First class was one of the ranks. So do you think we could name all of the ranks?
No shot.
I think we could do. No, it's you started Weeblo.
Weeblo. Yep.
Weeblo. Second class. Let me see. I'm gonna check quick.
Okay.
So it's
It was
Weeblo,
definitely Weeblo.
second class, first class, Star,
Um,
Life, Eagle.
oh,
I
wow,
think those were the.
I think there was one more between Weeblo.
I think you're right. Boy Scout,
Star
ranks
Life and wow, these are terms
in
I've heard
order.
forever.
Dude, I know. It's Scout. No, Weeblo I think was
Weeblo's boy,
Cub Scouts.
Yeah,
It's
Cub Scouts.
Scout, Tenderfoot.
Oh,
second
how
class,
can we
first
forget
class,
Tenderfoot?
Tenderfoot. Your feet were so tender.
I know.
Or-
Tenderfoot. Holy crap, Tenderfoot.
oh my God! Wait, I never told you the story about the Scoutmaster, the memory at summer camp that I have, which is the Scoutmaster 4 days in, week-long camp.
Yes.
He was like so tired of all of our shit. And then one kid just takes out Axe body spray with a lighter, just makes
Oh,
a
yeah.
flamethrower.
Yep.
We're all cackling, laughing
Yep.
at this arsonist.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and it is so dangerous. Like, it is a big fire.
Yeah.
And then we all just turn to look at our Scoutmaster, and he just has this scowl on his face, and he's so tired of everything, he just doesn't even say anything and walks away. It was just like, that was the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And then he watched me pee at the urinal.
Yeah, I didn't know where you're going with this one, too. I wasn't ready.
And I think about him every time I pee.
That's crazy. That was crazy. It was fresh after talking about the pedophile babysitter. That was great.
Yes, Magic the Gathering was huge.
I'm
for
still a
when we were-
huge Magic the Gathering player.
Are you really?
I love Magic the
We
Gathering.
we
I
used
have
to play a lot of
ridiculous
Yu-Gi-Oh,
collection.
I think, right? Yu-Gi-Oh was big.
Yu-Gi-Oh was one of the other big ones down
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Also at the pool. I don't know if you were a part of
Trading,
this black market, but
oh.
under the freaking
The underground, yes.
under the playground area, it was pretty elevated. Like kids would go down there and like whip out their binders and
Yup.
start like black market selling and trading like
Yeah, you would go.
cards.
You would like go and your mom and like, hey mom, can I have $10? And like they would give it to you because you think you were going for food. You were going for like Silver Dragon.
Yep,
like
Blue Eyes
something-
White Dragon.
Blue Eyes White
under
Dragon.
under the swings.
which the
and-
rate of those looking back was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Some
Yep.
$20 for the Dark Magician.
It's probably was a steal considering now they're probably worth a lot. Like
think so?
if you were buying like you
But
know
if they're like in well condition, we were playing with these cards.
oh
Like,
yeah, these
it
things
was-
were chlorined up and everything.
I-
But if you were if you were buying if
we
you
were
were
not
buying
taking care of
base
them.
set Pokemon cards,
Yeah.
like base
Oh,
set
Pokemon,
cards,
yeah.
huge.
Yup.
If you have base set Pokemon cards now, they're worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So
crazy, yeah.
$10 that freaking mom gave you for mozzarella sticks
I
might
know.
have been a bargain.
But you know what it is? No kid there had the mindset of a collector.
No,
It was all it was a power trip.
yeah.
It was like it wasn't about the cards. It was about the power.
It was a flaunt. That was a little kid's way of being like, check out my Bugatti and my Rolex.
Yeah.
It was, check out my Pikachu. It was like,
Man, and then
Sweet.
right outside the pool they had mini golf that you could
that
do.
was in the back. Mini golf's great.
Mini
yeah,
golf was a
that
lot of
court-
fun. I love that.
They changed. I don't know if you've been there for. Oh no, yeah,
Haven't been
yeah,
there in
you've
a while.
But they changed the course. It used to be like the kiddie course, like the windmill and the clown at the end. Where
Yeah,
if you got
yeah, I
in the
remember the
nose, you
clown,
got like
yeah.
a free game. But then they
Right.
made it like a legit course.
Yeah.
Now it's fun.
Yeah, now it's 18 holes, par 5.
Yeah, 18 holes. Yeah, no clapping, no screaming. Yeah, yeah. That's a nice spot over there. It's good.
I'm
But-
trying to think of any other memories I have specifically there or
For the
of
pool?
Boy Scouts or Boy Scouts. I'm trying to
Mm.
think because those are the big ones we had. Boy Scouts, man.
The
That
Boy
was-
Scout, well, the Boy Scouts.
Remember we met because we met in the basement of a church. That right before we had our meeting, there was an Alcoholics Anonymous
Yeah.
meeting that we
there was
would,
an AA meeting
you would
in a
have to
different
walk
area.
through.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
In
like
the
our-
entrance, there'd be like
They would be like smoking, like in the front door.
yup,
Yeah.
smoking, just strange men and women.
And again,
it
like
would-
nothing against people in that program, but it is like if you're a child
Yeah.
in like a bolo tie and a Boy Scout
and a
uniform.
sash.
Yeah, they would like catcall us walking in.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Hey, oh, where you
Yeah.
going? Where can I?"
Yeah. And I don't think I even realized till later on, like, oh, these are like AA people.
I know. It was, yeah, and it was.
I just thought it was like a different fun group. It was not a fun group.
No, I know, and I
I
was
wanna
like,
be part of that
yeah,
group.
I didn't think about those adults, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I just remember such strong cigarette smoke and everyone being so much taller than me,
Mhm. Yeah.
just trying to get there, like, excuse me, I have to go to my,
Mhm.
oh no, my handbook.
Yeah.
But also going back to because you used to have to do interviews for the Tenderfoot,
Mm.
Scout, Tenderfoot, second class, first class, Star, Life, and Eagle. You had to do interviews at every junction. And I remember I was interviewing for first class for our Scoutmaster, and I forgot what hitchhiking meant. And he was like, all right. And I remember it was like an extreme. You either always hitchhike or you never hitchhike,
Mhm.
like while on a trip. And Scoutmaster looks at me and was like, all right, do you ever hitchhike? And I go, always. And he looks
All
at
the
me, he's like,
time.
and I go, never? And he goes, all right, I'm going to count that one.
All right, good. Yeah, I don't really remember. Everything kind of blurs at Scouts. I don't really remember the interview processes.
Do you
processes.
do you remember any knot tying skills? Because that's the big question I get a lot.
Um,
Do you ever
I
use
think-
it in the old bedroom? No, I could never. Sorry.
excuse me, let me go over the. Excuse me, before we start. I'm gonna go around the tree, down the bunny hole, and. Are you ready to continue now? No, I haven't whipped out my. No, I haven't whipped that
You
one
haven't
out.
let out a bowline hitch to try and.
Excuse me, miss. Can I introduce you to my bowline hitch in the bedroom? No, I have never. I've never utilized any of the. I wish, like, sometimes if I'm going out and I need to like tie something up to the car or something, I wish I like remembered like the square knot or something. You know.
Square knot, I think I could still do. Nope, you know what? I can't. Square knot, by the way, most pointless knot out there. When did you ever?
It was made to come apart.
Yeah, it would literally. That's the knot, because like the whole thing is, yeah, you would like be able to like pull it apart and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I knew visually how to explain it. It's like, crap. Bail me out
Picture
here.
two loops of a knot, but they're like connected like a chain.
Yeah,
kind
two
of.
lopes of a knot.
Two
connected
lobes
by
of
a
a knot
chain,
connected
yeah.
by a chain.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. Yeah, there you go.
They loosen up, but when you pull them tight,
Right.
they're tight. It's tight.
yeah. It
Hooray!
like if a magician was like trying to, it looks like it's a simple trick. Think of a magician simple trick. That is that square knot
That's
for
the
Boy
square
Scouts.
knot, right? Yes.
One you could go home to mom and be like, "Look what I learned today," and she's like, "I
Mhm.
can't believe I paid $2,000 for summer
Yeah.
camp."
Yep.
And then it's, but yeah, man. Chris, I want to get to your low point. The people have waited long enough.
Oh yeah, okay.
My God, we could go all day.
I would love to. Yeah.
Chris, we talked a little bit before. Your low point that you wanted to share with us today is fibromyalgia.
Yeah, big
you
sexy topic.
still have it, maybe don't have it.
Oh no, I don't have it.
I
anymore.
know nothing
No.
about fibromyalgia. So
Not
could you
many do.
tell us about it.
I still don't even really know about it because it was kind of like I don't know if it's even possible, but it was kind of like an unknown thing when I had it.
Mhm.
People really didn't know what it was. But basically, yeah, I had it in 6th grade. So I was 6th grade was 2006 for me. It was kind of cool. My age is the year is the grade for me. I don't know if that's like that for you too.
Oh no, it's not.
But 2005,
'Cause I'm
5th
younger.
grade, 2000. Yes, yeah, he's a sexy young strapping man.
What am I? A year younger?
You're younger.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so 2006, I had fibromyalgia. And
How'd you like? What?
the
How'd
symptoms?
you know?
Yes, the symptoms. So the symptoms of fibromyalgia are all. It's very joint related. So my
Okay.
joints would tighten up, and my joints would get really stiff. And there were sometimes like I wouldn't even be able to get out of like bed. Like it was it was rough. It was
Really? Wow.
yeah, really bad.
In 6th grade.
6th grade predominantly, and 6th grade was important. That was 6th grade because for our town, elementary school ended in 5th grade, and then 6th grade started middle school. So it's a totally stress-induced disorder. So
Really?
it's all
Wow.
me getting worked up in my head about transitioning into 6th grade and like middle school and the pressure and the stress and all of what that entailed. And it was all in my head, and it was stress-induced, and it tightened up my joints like really bad.
Wow.
and it was weird. I was like, I was getting myself worked up to go to school, and I knew I was, and I was like, well, I guess it was, a really severe panic attack is I guess what it is. But yeah, I had it for like the first half of 6th grade, and I missed a lot of school.
Sure.
That first half of year. Yeah.
So take us back to, so you're in 5th grade
Mhm.
and you're dreading middle school starting.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Mhm.
why you were thinking like?
No, I don't really know. I think I was just working myself up into like a really bad hurricane of thoughts and worries that
Yeah.
it was again, it was all inside my head. It was all stress induced, and at the time nobody really knew what it was. So, excuse me. So we went to a bunch of doctors. They didn't really realize, a lot of them didn't know what it was. Some of them thought it was, I don't even remember. I was so young at the time, but some of them thought it was some other kind of disorders. Some of them thought it was something more serious. I went to like some therapy. Some of them thought like it might have been stuff back home, so they were like, then they started like investigating my home life with my parents.
Really? Wow.
But my parents were great and still are great, except my dad liked to watch you pee. I didn't talk about that in therapy. Maybe I should. Maybe my dad watching you pee was the sole source of my fibromyalgia. So they were looking into like
Did we solve it?
yeah, I think the cure to fibromyalgia is don't let your friend's dad watch you pee.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so they started looking into like my family life back home. They thought like maybe my parents were too tough on me, or maybe I was like too much of like I was attributing or accrediting too much of whatever my condition was to that, because I didn't really know. Two, I didn't have the maturity and the wherewithal to think like, oh, it's because it's just middle school drama and like worries and stuff. I didn't think about any of that. And then after like 6th, 7th grade, it kind of like fizzled out a little bit, and I still had a little bit in 7th grade, I think.
Okay.
And then around 8th grade, I finally like sacked up and shed it a little bit. And
So like, I guess biologically, it's you said it kind of not tears apart your joints, but it like affects your joints.
yeah, it kind of stiffens up your joints. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And it was completely stress induced.
Yeah, it was stress. It was stress induced. It was anxiety induced.
Yeah.
It was definitely a mental hurdle, like something that you devise in your head and you would work yourself up to, and it was just kind of like, I guess, a severe panic attack. And like throughout the day I'd have it, and then I guess towards the end of the day it'd like simmer down and sizzle down, and I'd start to feel my joints lubricated up a little bit more and start like having mobility and things like that. And since then, like I've actually seen commercials for like for people with fibromyalgia, and there's like actual medicines with it. And
Sure.
I don't think that those really existed when I had it. Like I think this is, I could be totally wrong, by the way. I don't really know if this is the case, but I think I think that people have done research medically on it and put a lot of money and time and effort into it. I think they found like kind of like a medicine for it, which is good. But I think at the time I didn't really have that. I don't remember taking it. I don't remember it existing.
Right.
So I think it's kind of been like a newer kind of disorder or condition. I think honestly with a lot of like, I guess it's the sad truth, but I think a lot of the times we're not even that old, and early 2000s, late 1990s, like a lot of mental conditions and disorders. I think the generation before us, like our parents' generation, I think a lot of the times it was just, oh, get over it. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Have you ever seen the Great Depression by Gary Goldman?
Mm-mm.
You should go home and watch that. That's
Okay.
like a really great comedy special.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the reason that, because I take medication, I'm on Cymbalta, and that's actually the reason like I got started on it, was from that special. But yeah, it was like, just not even a thought. It was kind of just like white knuckle it. But what's interesting is like I just haven't heard of a case where it manifests in like these physical symptoms.
Yeah.
Right? Especially so young for
Right.
an 11-year-old. And like I can imagine you're struggling with this at 11, not going to school. It's only compounding the stress.
Yeah, that did not help.
Yeah.
The fact that I couldn't go to school because I was worried about school, but then I was also worried about what I was missing and
Right.
missing out on, whatever friend stuff that was happening and
Yeah.
social life and things like that. Yeah, that didn't help either. Like I was a pretty good student in school. Like I wanted to. I was studious. I cared about my grades and stuff. So, like the fact that I was missing out on like schoolwork, and it's the first 5 months of sixth grade is kind of huge. Like you got to worry about the bell schedule. You got to worry about different classes.
And in our town, they combined the two elementary schools.
Yeah, it was like
you're meeting
a whole other world of kids that are the other side, forever the other side of town. Which when we were that age was like Mars.
And then you got to worry about being fibromyalgia kid.
I know fibromyalgia. I know.
God, were you labeled that or no? I'm like making it
No.
worse. I'm like, were you the freak? Were you the loser?
No. I don't. Like I said, I didn't even think anyone, including medical professionals, knew really what it was to where they could even label me the fibromyalgia kid.
Have you?
I would have liked that because in a sick, twisted way. I would have liked that because I would have known I had.
Your doctors are like, the school nurse is like, the fibromyalgia kid's back.
Oh man, I've had a crazy medical history though. Of
really
weird things. Yeah. Not quite as bad as the fibromyalgia, but I've had a few kind of funny medical situations.
You can't see if you're listening on Spotify, but I like how you're like leaning back saying that I've had a few run-ins.
Yeah, no, I have. I've had some interesting medical things that have happened.
Any you'd like to share?
Sure, I got two I'd like to share. They're pretty good. They're pretty funny.
Pretty juicy.
Pretty juicy. So, one medical. Oh God.
Sorry.
Oh. Okay.
You're like, I like to watch kids use the urinal.
No, I can't. I can't.
I don't know if that's genetic.
I can't. Oh my God, that story's still killing. Okay, so I don't know how to introduce this without it being just funny off the bat.
Love it.
So I've had maybe 6 or 7 instances of mimicked testicular torsion.
What is
Mimicked.
that?
Okay, so what I've been explained by multiple doctors is when you when you're in the womb, you are developing male and female reproductive organs.
Sure.
Then there comes a point where the womb decides you're going to be a boy or a girl.
Right.
So the other reproductive organs that are developing at the same time kind of shrivel into nothing.
Okay.
And are, nothing.
Yeah.
So when you're a boy, I don't know about when you're a girl because I'm a boy, but when you're a boy, the leftover reproductive organs shrivel into a piece of like just loose, very small skin, and it kind of just sits there down in your junk, and it's just there. So occasionally,
on the sack or in the sack? It's in the
not
sack.
hanging out like a rooster.
Okay.
It's in there. I don't know where, but it's in there.
All right, so it's kind
in
of
there
like
for everybody.
for the boys, for the fellas back home. If you're
yeah.
feeling around,
Yeah.
you can't feel it though. Like it's just
Not really. No.
Okay, gotcha.
No, you can't really feel it. It's just a really small but a very small piece of just loose skin
that was supposed to be
at one
clitoris.
point in your vagina.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so we've all got one. Remember that.
We've all got one. So this could have happened to you. This could have happened to you back home. Could have happened to anybody. So when that twists a little bit, it could be a very pinpointed mimic of testicular torsion. Now, testicular torsion is no joke. Like if your ball twists, like it could suffocate and die within hours. So you got to get that shit checked out.
Wait a minute. Your balls can suffocate. Your balls breathe.
Your ball could.
They got little lungs down there?
they breathing. If a ball twists, it could cut the circulation to the ball, and then it could kind of just suffocate itself out because there's no blood going to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So
I'm actually like, wait, they breathe?
No, yeah,
I gotta open my legs.
They got gills. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so if you feel that feeling in there,
God.
it's scary. So
Yeah.
it happened to me once, and
Were you doing something or just
no,
happened?
each time I don't really do anything. It kind of just fucking happens. It's the worst. So it's very rare that it happens. It's extremely rare for it to happen like twice. It's happened like 7 times. Okay. Of course. So the first time we went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, good thing you came. Like, it's just not something to joke about. I was like, going through puberty.
Right.
Good thing you came.
How old were you?
Like maybe 13.
You're like 22.
No,
going through puberty.
It can happen anytime.
No, going through puberty. I meant.
Yeah, going through puberty. Yeah, my balls just dropped here. Yeah. So they were like, no, this is what it is. It's okay. We see it. We've seen it before. Like, you're good. It's just kind of something that's going to have to run its course, and you're fine. Then it happened again. Then it happened again.
Wait, how long in between did it happen?
On average, I'd say 6 months.
That's awful.
One time, this particular time, it happened on a Super Bowl night. Like, after my friends.
Which Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't remember. It was it might have been Cardinals Steelers. That might have been.
Oh, that was a good one. Damn.
Yeah. So good, my balls twisted. So the reason I'm bringing this all up is because, all right, one particular time in the middle, I went to the hospital, went to whatever, and the doctor's checking me out.
This is during the Super Bowl one?
Might have been the Super Bowl one.
So, okay, sorry.
Doctor's checking me out. I'm probably 15-ish, 16-ish at this time.
Okay.
Making sure I'm good. And doctor's like, wow, this is a really, like, rare thing. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's happened to me a couple times. Doctor goes, oh, we have a few medical students here that are on watching, that are studying. Is this so rare? Is it okay if they come in here and get a load of this? He didn't say get a load of this.
I was going to say, that's how he phrased it.
But he was like, obviously it's a touchy subject, no pun intended. But is it okay if these medical students come in and examine you? So I'm like, yeah, okay. My pants are down, my nuts are out.
He asked you while your pants were down?
Yeah, he's like, okay, stay right here. I'm like,
don't move.
I'm like, okay, I'm not moving. So he brings in these young collegiate medical students, and it's like 5 smoke show women.
Yeah, I was just
and
gonna
I'm like
say,
16, 15, and these girls are like 21.
Yeah, in the movie version of this, they're all hot. Yeah.
And in the real life version, they were hot too. Okay, they're like these hot girls coming in, and I'm just there, and I'm like, hi, and they're like, oh, you're so brave, and all the like, and
all the stuff you want to hear.
Doctor's got like his little points, like, all right, so see, this is he's feeling this here.
Stop.
It's like a group of people,
just
and they're like with notes,
No.
and they're like studying my fucking nuts. And yeah, so that particular time, the med students were looking at me and checking me out.
God, did you get hard during it?
I was thinking about every possible thing that could make me be as flaccid as humanly possible.
I can imagine. Just because
it was very uncomfortable.
How long did it go on for?
Like, it felt like an hour, but it was definitely like 5-10 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal.
That's awful.
But I had that happen. Yeah,
and
that was fresh after the fibro.
You know what would bother me is I know there's one guy in that group that's just asking a question to appear smart. So he's like,
probably, yeah.
Excuse me, this side of the ball, is it here and there? You're like, God damn it, he's making me do it longer.
So that happened to me. And the other interesting medical thing I had was I had a second asshole once.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So I had a polynoidal cyst. Do you know what that is?
Is that the thing that goes in your tailbone?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a dimple in people's tailbones.
Not that I would know. No, I'm just kidding.
There was a dimple in people's tailbones, and it got infected, and it became a cyst, and they had to remove the cyst. So I had a second asshole. So there.
Really? Was it? Oh.
It was just a wound. Nothing came out.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, is it connected to
no,
your small
no, it's not. The
colon?
hip bone's connected to the tailbone. No, it wasn't.
Testicle suffocates.
And you have one ball. No. So I had the surgery done. It was fine. It was good. The next day, you're supposed to repackage the wound, right?
Yeah.
So your mom's a nurse. She probably
would know.
Heard about this, known about this. She'd love this. So
she's probably gonna listen.
Yeah. All right. Great. Hi, Denise. So you're gonna want to hear this part. This is good. This is good for the patients back home. So I need to repackage the wound. So it's far back. It's deep in there. So I had my parent help me. They were helping me. They removed the packaging. All of a sudden, I start squirting like a motherfucker.
Oh boy!
Crazy.
Just like the
a
pus
lot
and stuff.
Not even a ton of blood. I'm losing blood. I'm losing like a lot.
Oh
of blood.
man!
Like I got shot.
Like not just in the wound.
The wound is bleeding and squirting, flying everywhere. It's rough. I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like a freaking car in the auto mechanic shop. Like, how you doing back there? You good? Everything good, Mom? It's like, no, I don't think it's supposed to happen. Okay, so I'm bleeding a lot. So my mom's like, this is the day after the surgery. So my mom's like, we got to go to the doctor immediately.
Yeah.
And we got to figure this out. This is not supposed to happen.
I'm getting chills. Oh, my God.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So I can't sit, right? So I have to go in the car, but I have to go face down in the back seat like a prized fishing bass. I get thrown in, and I'm just in the car. I'm like wiggling around in the back seat. Like my mom's got me on ice. She just caught me in the Taconic.
God.
Okay, so I waddle.
Where do you get a load of this one?
Yeah, I'm just on my stomach in the back seat.
Oh no.
We got to the doctor's office. I shimmy my way out of the car, and I penguin walk over to the. I'm bleeding crazy.
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
So what happened was during the surgery they burst a capillary, which was not supposed to
Whoa.
happen. So when you burst a capillary, blood's gonna fly.
Right.
So blood flew everywhere. Now they needed to close that capillary.
Sure.
Right.
As one does.
As one does. So I just came off of being under the day before, and I'm sure you know this because your mom is a nurse, but you can't be under 2 days in a row.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I'm a terrible nurse's son.
Denise.
Denise!
So this is fresh after Joan Rivers died. And Joan Rivers passed away because she got Novocaine. What's
Oh, the anesthesia.
anesthesia?
Drug?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
Novocaine.
yeah.
Novocaine's the mouth. Anesthesia the day after she got anesthesia, and her windpipes actually closed.
Oh my
And
God!
her throat closed, and
I
she
didn't know any of
suffocated, and
this.
she died.
Yeah.
This is fresh off that, so people are on high alert of no anesthesia back-to-back days.
Sure.
And they knew that even before this, so it was the next day. So I couldn't go under anesthesia. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No. Don't.
they
no.
are trying to operate on
No.
me without anesthesia. So what they're doing is they're taking this numbing needle.
Yeah.
And again, I'm bleeding like a crazy man.
Right. Right.
And they just start sticking me like a poke and stick tattoo around my second butthole and numbing it around. And it is killing me. It's painful. And they need to work quickly. And they did not allow enough time for me to be numbed back there.
Oh,
So
God.
the doctor's just like, fuck it, I'm going in. So I swear to God, I'm clenching up so hard right now because this was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. When women say you don't know what childbirth what childbirth is, honey, you don't know what second butthole suturing is, okay? They took a blowtorch and they blowtorched the capillary to suture it. This is straight out of a World War II bunker. Like I'm talking. I'm biting down on a towel as hard as possible. I'm screaming the most absurd, outrageous obscenities of all time throughout the office. I'm crying. I'm sweating. I'm wailing. It's as painful as could possibly be. Right? I'm sure your butt's like this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just took a blowtorch to my wound. No anesthesia, nothing, and they had to.
And you came on here to talk about fibromyalgia?
Are
you kidding?
I'm sorry when you asked me the question.
I like when you're like low point. I was in bed a few times in 6th grade.
I was off of school a few days with no fever. No, this was a low point. Yeah, this was for sure a low point.
Shit.
So I'm screaming. I'm going nuts. They're like, all right, we're done. It must have felt like 10 hours. And my mom was in the room with me. I must have almost broke her hand. I was squeezing so hard.
Oh, God.
And then afterwards, because I was
By the way, your poor mother to
Yeah.
watch that. That's horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like, I lost a lot of blood, a lot of sugar. So they're like, you want an apple juice? And I was like, fuck off. Like, I felt violated.
Yeah.
That was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. Hands down, the worst pain. I don't wish that upon anyone.
I can't believe they took a blowtorch.
A blowtorch.
Was it the kid with the Axe body spray with the lighter?
It looked like it. It looked like it. No, it looked like it. Actually, funny enough.
So like no, go ahead. Sorry.
The doctor's name was Frank Caliendo. And he kind of looked like the comedian Frank Caliendo. Was like one of the best impressionists.
I feel like during this blowtorch, he's like getting out the anger of people constantly calling him that. No, I'm not Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, I know.
Just taking
Dr.
it out
Caliendo. Yeah, great
Dr.
guy. If you need to
Caliendo.
do a polynomial
Good impressionist. No,
he did an impressionist of a World War II doctor that day, and my
God.
God, was it great! But yeah, no, that was the worst
That's
pain
crazy.
I've ever felt,
Was
for
your
sure.
and your whole area there must have been burned?
It was just tender foot. No, it was try tender polynoidal cyst. No, it was like rare meat.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
I was rough. I was in rough shape. Yeah. And the next 2 months I couldn't sit properly. I had to lie
2
down.
months.
Yeah, it was a healing process. I was on a
Jesus.
lot of perks. It was great.
Yeah.
It was good.
By the way, if you haven't tried Perks, this is
Great stuff.
then I
Great
got
stuff.
addicted to those, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That was a bad one. Yeah. So I've had a few medical.
Yeah, it feels like just like your
instances.
entire medical history is your low point. It just
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that. Yeah, I have really weak ankles. I probably rolled my ankles, twisted my ankles like 10
Yeah. Well, you're an
times.
athlete too, so like that
Oh,
will
that's
grown up. Yeah.
generous. Oh, baby, I'm an athlete. Woo. Yeah.
You played baseball all growing up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like so me and half the town play baseball. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
But yeah, no,
God.
I once twisted my ankle walking upstairs
Stop it.
Swear to
That
God.
is so-
during college. I won same college collegiate year. I might be the only person known to mankind to have a billiards injury. I twisted my ankle playing pool. I walked around the table,
Yeah.
and my ankles are so weak at this point that any step could literally just be like crunch, and I cranked my ankle right around, walking around pool.
God.
Again, there were attractive women around, and
Yeah, there always
was-
are.
nah,
I feel like
there
that's the
it's just a comedic.
literally
comedic.
every time you have any sort of medical issue.
I get up and look around.
There's a-
Hot girls! Ah, God damn it!
You're-
Bring them in. Bring them in, the medical students. Yeah, bring them in. Bring all the hot girls from my collegiate building.
Mid Blowtorch, there's 3 college
Yeah,
women.
this-
We need a 4th for our pool party.
You're not gonna believe this. We're blowtorching some kid. Come in here. Come on in. Yeah, I've cranked my. I've broken my ankle. Someone in my grade who is not an athlete.
Okay.
And there was one time at the park. He was there and we played one-on-one ball in front of a lot of kids in my grade.
Sure.
And he's full blown like NBA snatched my ankles.
Oh,
It was rough. It was rough.
that's
So my ankle's super weak. And the other big thing I guess I had jaw surgery. That wasn't
all
that
right. That's
eventful.
what like wisdom teeth or like
No, so I had like
you're like my wisdom teeth had wisdom teeth. That's
I
how bad
wish
it
there
was.
was that, but no, my bite was like kind of straight on,
Yeah.
and if I was to continue, it was an elective surgery. But if I was to continue to do it, I'd fray my teeth out.
Oh
that.
yeah.
So what they had to do was, this is my top jaw. They had to cut the top of my jaw and like push it forward, so I had a nice overbite. Like
Whoa.
this.
Oh my
that's
god.
another-
I'm like chewing my mouth now to make sure
So
I got that
now
going.
I got like a nice
yeah,
overbite.
yeah. You want like a little.
You want a
intri-
little something. Yeah.
So how do they shift? Because like the
So they
top of your
cut-
jaw is your head, right?
Yeah, they cut. I don't know. It connects to something. They cut the top part here and here in my jaw, and I think put like a
Oh.
little metal plate in to like extend.
Oh, I
it,
see.
and,
I
like,
see.
pushed it forward a little bit,
That
so
makes
I have
sense.
a nice bite.
Can you like feel the metal stuff in your mouth?
No, but when I got it, it like really messed up my naval nerve passageways.
What's your naval nerve? Your
I'm
blood-
not a
your
medical
blood-
guy.
your blood-
I'm not a medical guy. No, but it messed up my nervous system in my nose. So
Oh,
You know,
oh.
my-
oh nasal.
nasal. Yeah,
I thought you
sorry.
meant like I was like navel's your belly button. Like I was
Yeah,
that
no,
involved now.
sorry. I said the wrong thing. So yeah, like when you blow your nose, it's like a normal human being, it comes out
Yeah.
of your nostrils. But they kind of like cracked into the nervous system, so I had like an extra little passageway from my mouth to my nose inside.
You have so many more orifices than, than
Yeah, I
a
got
normal
a
person.
ton of orifices.
You got the vasshole,
Yep.
the extra nasal passageway.
Yeah. So now this is a theory, a conspiracy theory, but now I think I have like I don't think that wound fully healed where like I feel like sometimes I have to blow my nose, but I think it's through the second nasal passageway.
Okay.
Not nasal. So I think I still have a little something left over from
Because
that.
when you blow your nose, you feel it.
When I blow my nose, sometimes I'm like blowing my nose and nothing's coming out, but I could feel in my face there's like, mucus. But I think it's
Oh,
through
ew!
the
So
wound.
it gets
I think.
not ew. I'm sorry. That was.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm just like making you feel self-conscious.
It's good. It's
I'm like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. This is my life. No,
So
sometimes I feel like I have to blow my nose, and
Gotcha. So, but how does the mucus get out of here if you're blowing it into here?
I gotta like do some crazy hard like
like,
not in. That's more of a snort. I gotta do some crazy hard
yeah,
like
yeah. you gotta-
outward type
oh,
of
I
crap.
hear you.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
my girlfriend hates it.
I was gonna
A lot
say.
of the times I'm in the shower, I'm just hacking along.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
it's just like-
women don't typically like that.
They do not. No, they do not. That was something I hid early on in the relationship. Like, if
Yeah.
I needed to really blow my nose or hack a quick lung, I would.
Do
get
you guys
the
live
hell out.
together?
We do live together. Yeah,
Oh,
we do
nice.
live
Hell
together. Yes. She is not a fan of that. That part of my body. Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought you meant living together.
No. No. We greatly enjoy Really enjoy that. Yeah, no, not a fan of the hacking of the lung.
Yeah, I can imagine.
As
Yeah,
most are. Yeah.
As most, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other bodily problems.
Have you had any crazy?
I went to the ER once. I'm trying to think of a story that I haven't told on this podcast. I had an instance once in high school where I remember, like, senior year, I was like, I had perfect attendance, and I was like, I'm gonna do it this year. I'm not gonna get sick once. Senior year, like, what the heck am I trying to do? So it's October, and I was having dinner, and I wasn't drinking a lot of water, and I just had a piece of, like, very, very dry chicken. And so I have the piece of chicken, I swallow, and I feel like this weird thing in, like, my throat, and I'm like, okay, let me just try. So I try having another bite of chicken, immediately throw it up.
Really? Oh, wow.
I tried taking some water. I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, and then I throw that up. And then I'm realizing, oh my God, I can't even swallow saliva without spitting it up. So I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like, I can't get it down. We try everything. We try, like, she goes, try drinking, like, a lot of water. So I go, okay. So I go, she's a nurse. So I go,
oh my God. Yeah, the smallest of spit can't go down, but just chug a gallon.
So let's just keep trying to push it down. So I keep trying to, like, everywhere. And I'm like hocking up mucus and everything, like something's going on, like whatever.
Jeez.
He has to drive me to the hospital. I go to the emergency room, and I'm just, like, on the way to the car. Like, we had to stop and pull over so that I could spit out more and more. Just nothing was going down in my esophagus. We go. Oh my God, they tried everything, man. They did X-rays while I'm, like, trying to spit up or whatever to, like, say, and they go, the chicken got caught. In your esophagus, there's, like, a little flap. I forget what it's called, but it basically, like, so you can swallow, and then where you take air, the chicken got stuck on that flap.
Oh my God.
So, like, I couldn't get anything down.
Holy shit.
So they're like, all right, they tried everything. So they go.
Did they take the blowtorch?
No, not the blowtorch. That was the last resort. I'll tell you what they did.
That's Frank Caliendo's go-to is the blowtorch.
He was there. He was my doctor.
He was number one.
I was like, hey, do Frank Sinatra. He's like, yeah, shut up.
I'll do doctor now.
I'll do doctor. I'll do World War II doctor. They tried they're like, all right, we got to get a better look. So they stuck a tube up my nose to the back, right? And it just feels so weird and pinching.
Yeah, it feels like alien. Like,
yeah, and they, like, just to, like, go down and take a look, then they pulled that out. And they were like, all right.
They saw it on the camera?
And I think they saw it on the camera,
Did you see the camera when it was happening?
No, they
When
didn't.
I've had that happen to me.
You want to look?
No, but my doctor at the time was like, here's the screen. You could see it while I'm seeing it. And I was like, okay.
He's like, yeah, might as well.
Putting it in, it was.
Here's my retainer. No, sorry, so stupid. So
they get it out.
The chicken?
Yeah,
I thought you meant the retainer.
Oh no.
So they do look in there, and they go, okay, we're gonna give you a muscle relaxer to try and, like, relax the muscles around, so that hopefully it'll, like, push it through. I go, okay, that makes sense. They go, this medication, it's not gonna make you throw up, so, like, it'll be good. Everything. They give me the medication. Immediately throw up everywhere. And I could tell on the look at some of those doctors, they were like, this is not supposed to happen. What is happening right now as I'm throwing up? But I threw up so much chicken, like, everywhere. Oh my God, it was, like, everywhere, like, so much.
Oh,
and they were
man.
like, okay, here's some apple juice. Try it now. And I did.
Why does every doctor want to give out some apple juice?
Dude,
That's what happened to me too.
These doctors are just sitting on stockpiles of apple juice. Yeah. Too much inventory. They're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they're trying to push out the apple juice.
So that was a weird. A weird hospital story I had.
Nice.
Another time, I got so dehydrated I missed my friend's wedding.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
really?
dude. Yeah. So we went out. This is in Rhode Island. I also told the story on TikTok if you want to check it out. I went to Rhode Island for this wedding. And the problem is with weddings, and I apologize if I've said this before on the podcast, you can fast forward like 2 minutes. When you go to a wedding, do you go, like, typically go for, like, a welcome drink thing?
Yeah, I've been to a bunch. I've actually been to a bunch of weddings. I've had welcome
Humble
drinks.
brave.
Some I don't want to go to.
Yeah, most of them I don't want to go to.
There becomes a point where, like, you get invited to weddings at the start, and you're like, woo, fun.
Right.
Then there's a middle point where you're like, weddings. And then at the end, you're like,
we had 6 weddings we went to last year.
Really?
6 or 7.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we had about 5 or 6 as well. I got a few this year.
And it's so expensive.
I got a few next year.
Dude,
people I care about a ton, a few I don't. A few ancillary people, like, on the other side's friend of a friend type thing. But yeah, no, there's been welcome drinks and there's been, like, rehearsal dinners type stuff.
Totally. And the problem with the welcome drinks for me is, like, you're so excited because you see everybody night one. I go way too hard.
Was a close friend?
Yeah.
Garden City guy?
Yeah. I'll bleep out the name. You know Rob Watzak?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So it was his wedding,
Okay.
and he's very well aware of this story.
Mm.
So we wake up the next morning, and I'm like, okay, like I feel kind of shitty. I want to go for like a run. I want to feel better. So we go for like a 3-mile run with me and some of the guys, and it's so humid in Rhode Island.
Pre-wedding run?
A pre-wedding run.
Are you a runner?
No.
Holy crap! I would
Dude,
never want to run before a wedding.
Dude,
Excuse me. Did the husband or the
No. He wasn't
groom
staying with
run?
us or anything.
Oh,
But like some of the guys we were staying with went, and they were like,
I guess Rhode Island's pretty scenic.
yeah,
What time of the year
it was good. Oh my god, it was a beautiful. It was a beautiful run. It was like in the summer, so it was like
nice.
we ran by Salve Regina, like right by the
Oh,
water.
cool.
Like it's like a famous, path or whatever. And then we stopped running, and I'm like really thirsty, and like it was so humid. I didn't even realize until in hindsight, like I was sweating so much. And then we get in the car on the way home. I don't like feel good. And I'm like woozy. I'm like whatever. We get back to the Airbnb. I'm like we have to get dressed for the wedding, and I can't put my pants on. Like I'm so fatigued. I like physically can't lift up my leg to get it in the pants hole. So I'm like on the bed rolling around trying to get my pants on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to this wedding. And then
At any point, did you try to drink fluids?
I did. Yeah, my friend got me some water, but it was just like a bottle of water. It wasn't like anything crazy. And then I like start swaying back and forth, and I start hallucinating, and I see a man in a top hat and a monocle in the corner of this room. It was like an old
Really?
Victorian house.
Was it my dad?
And take out your dick.
Take it out, man.
Take it out.
Put it in your pants.
Don't
now.
stand so close to the urinal.
Oh my god.
You're gonna pee on yourself.
Oh,
Thanks,
God.
monocle man. But no, and then I go, Taylor. It's my fiance's name. I go, Taylor, I can't put my shirt on. And she goes, what? We have to leave
She
in
was
like 20
there
minutes.
when you were.
Yeah,
oh,
she was
okay.
there with us, and I was like, she helps me get my shirt on, and I can't put my tie on. I can't get that top button to like close because I'm too hot. And I go, hold on a minute. And I run outside and I puke everywhere.
Wow.
And it was really funny because my other friends were like dressed playing cornhole outside. They're like, Matt, you ready to go? And I was
Holy
like,
crap.
they were like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess not. So then I lie down, and I'm like, they're like, you cannot go to this wedding. So they go, miss the ceremony, go to the reception. So I agree to that after like much because I felt so. I'm a people pleaser. I was like, it was like a
It's a
nightmare
wedding,
for
yeah,
me.
it's a
Yeah, I
once
was
in a
like, I'm gonna
lifetime
miss.
Hopefully, thing.
So I miss the ceremony. I fall asleep on the couch. I wake up 2 hours later, and the reception's like well underway, and I'm trying to get. I can't keep any food down. My girlfriend tries to give me chips with like salt and.
Oh, she
trying
stayed
to get-
back too.
Oh, she stayed back with
Oh,
me.
what
Yeah.
a-
So
what a
then,
doll.
she's the best. And so I end up going. I call my brother, who's a doctor. You know him, Robbie. And then he goes, Matt, you have to go to the hospital. This is like whatever. So I go to the hospital, and it was funny because I'm in the waiting room, and there are like other people from because Rhode Island, it's like prime wedding time.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's like other wedding people there,
oh wow.
like drunk people, and like parents there. Some daughter got really drunk or
Wow.
something, and everyone's like dressed up. I was like,
Mhm.
this is the best looking waiting room I've ever been in.
Nice.
We're all dressed to the nines.
Mhm.
So I remember the Yankees were playing, so I'm watching the Yankee game, I'm waiting to go in. They gave me an IV eventually, and like I missed the whole wedding.
Oh.
And then I
man.
show up to the breakfast the next day.
Oh.
But they were so busy they didn't notice, and I told my friends, do not tell them where I am. And I was like, that was a great party, guys. Thanks for having us, whatever. And they were like, oh, that's great, like everything. But and then they found out like after the thing, because I didn't want it to derail from what they were
Yeah.
doing. So they did at one point. Rob was like, "Where's Matt? We're taking the high school picture." And then my buddy Kellen was like, "All right, let's all take the photo." And then like he like
Oh,
got
I
him off
love
it.
Kellen.
Yeah, Kellen's the
I'm a
best. I
huge
just
Kellen
saw him
fan.
this weekend.
Really?
We had
Nice.
this guy Connor Burke's bachelor party.
I know him too. Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Burke was there too.
Ah.
Very funny.
Great.
Is he in your grade?
He's in my grade.
Yeah, yeah.
Big time music guy.
Yeah, big music guy. He just
Yep.
finished touring with Noah Khan.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
He was
yeah.
with oh my God, Prince Caspian of Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah,
his
they were
name.
touring too.
Ben-
I forget his name. He was in Westworld too. Though.
Yes, he was. Oh my
Yes.
God, I love.
Yeah, they were.
Westworld.
Yeah, they
and he was
great.
in The Punisher. He was Jigsaw.
I didn't know
Did
he
you
was in
watch
the
The
Punisher.
Punisher?
No,
Oh, he was.
but I love the guy in it. What's his
captivating.
name?
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. He does.
Him
Yeah.
as Punisher is awesome.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's
Really
a great.
good
Did you ever see him on Walking Dead?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's- Oh my God.
He would just like go nuts and he'd do this like
Yeah.
weird head thing.
It's like I'm
where
gonna fuck my best friend's wife.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Great guy. Great guy. He's really good as an actor too. Yeah. But he was,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
really good.
touring with Prince Caspian.
Yeah, he was touring with him, and then now he's with.
Noah
I
Khan.
forget- I
Sweet.
forget- yeah, Noah Khan. He was with, and I forget who he's touring with. This my girlfriend, my fiance loves her, Jensen something. I don't know, but yeah, he's doing great, and
Nice.
that's the point of the pod is we're going to talk about how great other people are
Okay,
doing and how
nice.
we're. I
Oh,
just,
man.
dude, your medical history. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. My friends and my family who know about
Is it like your
it's
family has medical issues too?
I mean, maybe a little high cholesterol
Yeah, I
type
mean,
of thing.
yeah.
Nothing too crazy like this, but
Yeah.
yeah, my girlfriend. It's a joke with like my friends. My girlfriend, like they
Yeah.
all know I got some weird, crazy
Yeah, I'm
crap
sure.
that's happened.
She have anything? You have any dirt on her? Or
She's got a little bit of low iron. That's about. That's about it.
she
loves-
doesn't eat red meat? What a loser!
No,
Like
she
that's
loves red meat. Actually, she likes milk too. A lot of girls don't like milk, but she likes milk. Which is
Lot of
weird. 'Cause
girls-
she's got a little
A lot
bit.
of girls don't like milk.
They don't.
Go figure.
Osteoporosis is a big thing.
I guess now that you say that, my fiance does not like milk.
See, there you
It's
go.
a thing.
You know what? Next, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 female guests you have on.
I'm gonna ask him about milk.
Sneak in if they like. Hey,
gonna sneak
you
it
like
in.
you like milk?
I'm gonna take some notes.
Take some notes and then be like,
We'll have you back on the pod.
by the way, you like milk?
By the way, you like
Well, no, she's a perfect bill of health. Which is
to
which
ask
is
a
lucky.
woman, "Hey, you like milk?" That's like the most. Just sounds invasive.
Yeah,
don't know
a
why.
little bit of a sus question. Me too.
Why you want to know?
Yeah,
That's your opener.
I'm a milkman myself.
I'm a
yeah.
milkman. Did you see the guy at the Braves game yesterday pick up the woman
Yes,
on
I
air?
did,
That's
yeah.
really cool. I
Mhm.
like that story.
He
was
shot
just
a
like,
shot.
yeah, yeah. And
Very
she was
smooth.
being a little. She was being very flirty with him too, because he
Yeah.
was like,
He was a good-looking dude.
they want me to. Yeah, they were. He was like, they want me to. For those that don't know, there's a reporter talking with the people in the main booth who was like on the field in the game, and this is very boring. But they asked him. They were like, "Get that girl's number," and he was like, "They're telling me to want to get your number," and she was like, "They want my number," and I was like, "Oh damn!"
Yeah.
So it was very cool.
She was giving it back, and he got the number. Good for him.
He did get the number.
Yeah.
And we're here to celebrate him.
Yes,
So.
we are.
Chris, we do end the pod with if someone is going through a lot of medical issues like that, and we've had some other people in the pod share about their medical history and stuff like that.
Mhm.
What is the advice you would give to someone who's going through any of the testicular torsion, the blowtorch
that I
to
can't
the
help you
asshole?
with. That I can't help you with. I guess bringing it back to the fibromyalgia thing, there came a point in my life where like I cared about a lot of stuff that I didn't really need to care about. And this is past the fibromyalgia. This is probably through high school and, entering first year of college. I definitely was a person who like cared about what a lot of people thought. Like, I was one of those people who really was like almost anal about like my perception and my image and
Don't do it. Don't do
of
it, man.
stuff like that.
with anal.
Oh
Sorry.
God, Jesus!
Sorry.
Again with that.
Sorry.
But no, there came a point where I just kind of like let some things go. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
let cares and worry, not about important stuff, about not important stuff like fitting in or like would I be judged if I have this interest? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure when I had fibromyalgia at the time when I was like a young preteen kid, I would have never been able to tell someone like, oh, I love Magic the Gathering or something like that because
Sure.
it's like a nerdy thing. And
Yeah.
things
but-
like that. There came a point, I don't know when, actually I kind of do. It was like sophomore year around college, I'd say, is where I really just had that epiphany of like, I'm me, I like my stuff, I like my hobbies, I have my friends, I have my interests, and I'm fully comfortable as me.
Totally.
And I think the best thing that a person could do, and it's hard to figure out at what age, and people are still finding out about themselves, learning about themselves now, but I think there came a point where I was just like, this is who I am, and I'm comfortable in it. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm pretty confident in who I am. And I think that the best way to maybe with fibromyalgia is to just not worry about those. It's easier said than done, of course, but it's just kind of don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what people are perceiving you and how the world is perceiving you. And a lot of the times you can't control it. Like you can't control not everyone's going to love you. You're not going to fit in with everybody. And you can just kind of control the things you can control. And with fibromyalgia, it's something that you can control because it's all in your head.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I would say. Yeah.
Two things on that. One, I heard I was on TikTok today, and there's a clip going around about this TEDx speaker who basically said that people who are in their kind of last moments before they pass away, their biggest regret is they wish they lived a life that was more free of other people's expectations.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind with that as well.
Wow.
And a great thing I heard that I loved in the similar vein is I think it's Cher, believe it or not, said, ask yourself, is this going to matter in 5 years? And if it doesn't, don't pay it any mind. And
Right.
I love that.
That is a great quote.
Yeah.
There's some pretty close people in my life who struggle with like what people think, and today I even got in a little bit of a disagreement or an argument with someone, and it was over like, oh, I wonder what this person's gonna think of me, and it might get me in trouble. And I was trying to tell them and just be like, just worry about yourself. Like, you just control yourself, control what you know, and don't worry about what people think. And if a narrative is developed and formed, it's not your fault.
Totally.
Things like that. And I'm no pro at it. I'm no expert, but like I said, there came a point where I just kind of had that epiphany, and it's made things put into perspective in a nice way. Like, I never heard that quote by Cher, but it's true. Like, there's plenty of times where I look back and I'm like, that really didn't matter. Like, petty drama in high school, petty drama in college, things that didn't really mean much of previous jobs, let's say. And one of my friends from college, one of my roommates, he was like one of the first of us to have a kid, and he's now has 2 or 3 kids, and he's our age. And he's started a family earlier than we did. And when I saw him after he had his kid, he hit me with a similar quote. He was like, hey, remember when we were in college and we cared about like who used our laundry, or like, he's like, as soon as I had my first kid and I saw them, nothing in my life
I've
mattered.
heard that. Yeah.
And we're not parents. We don't, unless
no.
Okay. I don't know. I'm sure once we have our first kid, we're going to realize that and have that epiphany where we're like, wow, this is my world now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until then, I don't have that epiphany yet, that second epiphany. But
I've
heard that.
And
it's a thing where like you don't really know what you care about, and you don't really know what's important until like you have your own child, and it's just like, this person's my world,
Yeah, and it's funny, like, especially with like the the podcast and the social media stuff I put out and like everything like that. I've thought a lot about that, because like I'll put out a lot of videos that'll just bomb. Gotcha. And I just and I had Jamel Sirleaf, who's another comedian, on this podcast, and he was like, he said something too, because I was like, I'm embarrassed like when a video bombs, and he's like, why? Like, you're just putting it into a machine who's determining, like, you're just put stuff out there. And also, too, like, nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody actually cares what you think the other people's expectations are of you. That's not what it is, and you're telling yourself that story.
It's true. And the fact that nobody cares, like, you don't want to hear that because you care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's tough when someone tells you, like, like today when I was having this disagreement, I was like, nobody's going to care about this. But it's tough to tell someone that who that's what they care about. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to invalidate their feelings. You don't want to be like, you shake it out of them kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, like with that type of thing, who cares if a video bombs, or if you don't get the viewership or something? It's just all about like self-worth and self-fulfillment. Like, there's a lot of musicians that are pretty big, and they've said like early on, I made music for the people, but then afterward came a point where I don't care if anyone likes it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean? Exactly.
And when it comes to a hobby like this, if I know the struggle and the grind. I've attempted to do this a few times myself. I was telling you before we started, and the fact that you're still like putting in the work and grinding it out, it's pretty freaking commendable.
I appreciate that, man. Well, I have the guests on to applaud me, so that's the.
There you
go.
It
only took an hour and a half before we got there.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, you cut it to the beginning. All right.
Chris DeSimone, you want the people to find you on social media or no?
Sure. I don't fully know my handles. I'm not a huge social media guy.
Anything you want to plug?
No, I'm good.
All right, I love it. Chris DeSimone, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, my man. I love you so much. You're like a brother to me. I love you too. And here's to hoping we left you a little higher. That's the podcast, baby. We did it.
Nice. That was great.
Hell yeah.